Today, I'm going to read you guys a story. This one I think is about a witch. Are you guys ready? When Billy Narrow Cow stopped giving him milk, he called the veteran. "There's nothing wrong with that cow," the vet said. "She's just stubborn. Or that witch got a hold of her." Bill and the vet both laughed. "That old hag, Elfitch, I guess she's in the closet. We have to go to a witch around here," the vet said. "But witches have gone out of style, haven't they?" Billy had to run in with Ellen French in the month before. He had hit her cat with his car and killed it. "I'm really sorry," Ellen French told her. "I'll get you a new cat, just as pretty, just as good." Her eyes filled with hate. "I raised that cat from kitten," she hissed. "I loved her." "You will be sorry for this, Bill. Listen." Bill sent her a new cat and heard nothing more. When his cow stopped giving him milk, next to his old truck broken down. After that, his wife fell and broke her arm. "We're having a lot of bad luck," he thought. But then he thought, maybe it's Alan French getting even. And then, "Hey, you don't believe in witches. You're just upset." But Bill's grandpa believed in witches. He had once told Bill that they were only one sure way to stop a witch causing trouble. "We find a black willow tree," he said. "You draw her picture on it, and then you mark it an X of where the heart is. Then you drive a nail into the X every day. You drive it a little deeper. If she's causing the trouble," she said, "she'll feel pain." Where was I? "When she can't stand it anymore, she'll come to you, or sends away to try borrow something, and I'll give you what she wants. That breaks the power of the nail, and she'll go on a tormenting you. But you don't. She has to stop, or the pain will kill her company." That was his nice, gentle old grandpa's belief. It's pure craziness, Bill thought. Of course Grandpa didn't have much schooling. Bill had been to college. He knew better. Then Bill's dog, Joe, perfectly healthy dog, dropped dead. Just like that. It made Bill angry, depressed. With all his schooling, he thought, maybe it's Aunt French after all. He got a red crayon from his son's room and a hammer and a nail. He went to the woods. He found a black willow tree and drew a picture of Alison French on it. He made an X where her heart was, like his grandpa said to do. With a hammer, he drove the nail a little ways into the X. When he went home, "I feel like a fool," he told his wife. "You should," she said. The next day, named Jimmy Logan came by. "Ellen French wasn't feeling well," he said. "She wonders if she can borrow some of sugar from you." Nell and Bill stared at Jimmy in amazement. He took a deep breath. "Tell her I'm sorry, but I don't have any sugar right now," he said. When Timmy Logan left, Bill went back to the willow tree and drove a nail another inch. The next day, a boy came back. "Alice French is pretty sick," she said. "She wondering if you got any sugar yet." "Tell her I'm sorry," the woman said. "I still don't have any." Bill went out into the woods and drove a nail another inch. The following day, the boy was back. "Alison French is getting sicker," he said. "She really, really needs sugar." Tell her I don't have any, Bill answered. Bill's wife was angry. You have to stop this, she said. If this mumbo jumbo works, it's like a murder. I'll stop when she does, he says. Toward dusk, he stood in the yard, staring at the wrench where the old lady lived, wondering what was going on what was going on up there. Then, in the half-darkness, he saw Ellen Finch coming down slowly the hill towards him. With her pitch, runny face and her old black coat, she didn't look like a witch. She was getting closer. Bill saw that she could barely walk. Maybe I'm really hurting her, he thought, and ran to get his hammer to pull out the nail out. But before he could leave, Allison French was in the yard, her face twisted with rage. First you kill my cat, she said. Then you wouldn't give me a bit of sugar when I need it. She swore at him as she felt death at his feet. I'm not surprised that she dropped dead that way, the doctor said later. She is very old, maybe 90. It was her heart, of course. Some people thought that she was a witch, Bill said. I've heard that, the doctor said. Somebody I know. Though Allison French was a witch to him. Bell went. He drew a picture of her on a tree and drove a nail to make her stop. It's old superstition, the doctor said, but people like us don't believe a sort of thing, do we?
Wow, that is creepy.
That is the story of something like this.
By the way, I've been zoomed in on your face for like 5 minutes.
What the heck? Okay, the next story we have is Running Wild. It's a story about a wolf girl.
I want to read it.
What?
I want to read it.
You want to read it to them?
Yeah.
Okay,
You hold the camera down.
Come here. Come here. Oh, wow. I'm going to zoom in your face the whole time.
This is called A Young Child is Stolen by Wild Animals. For some reason, the animals raise the child instead of eating it. It learns to make the sounds they make. It learns to eat, run, and kill the way they do. After a while, it only looks human.
Can I say something? I've actually haven't read the story before. I've actually, one of my teachers at my school read it to me. Your face. And yeah, anyways, read it.
The Wolf Girl. Travel northwest into the desert from Del Rio, Texas, and eventually you will come to Devil's River. In the 1830s, a trapper named John Dent and his wife Molly settled where Dry Creek runs into Devil's River. Dent was after beaver, which were plentiful there. He and Molly built a cabin from brush, and near it they put up an arbor to give them shade. Molly Dent became pregnant. When she was ready to have their child, John Dent raced on horseback to their nearest neighbors several miles away. My wife is having a baby, he said to the man and his wife. Can you help us? They agreed to come at once. As they got ready to leave, a violent storm came up and a bolt of lightning struck and killed John Dent. The man and his wife managed to find his cabin, but did not arrive until the next day. But by then, Molly Dent was dead too. It looked as if she'd given birth before she died, but the neighbors could not find the baby. Since there were wolf tracks all around, they decided the wolves had eaten it. They buried Molly and Dent and left. A number of years after she died, people began to tell a strange tale. Some swore it was a true story. Others say it never could have happened. The story begins in a small settlement a dozen miles from Molly Dent's grave. Early one morning, a pack of wolves raced in from the desert and killed some baby goats. and killed goats. Such attacks were not unusual in those days, but a boy thought he saw a naked girl with long blonde hair running with the wolves. A year or two later, a woman came up upon some wolves eating a goat that they had just killed. Eating a goat with them, she claimed, was a naked young girl with long blonde hair. When the wolves and the girl saw her, they fled. The woman said at first the girl ran on all fours. Then she stood up and ran like a human, swiftly as the wolves. People started wondering if this wolf girl was Molly Dent's daughter. Had a mother carried her off the day she was born and raised with her pups? If so, by now she would have been 10 or 11 years old. As the story is told, some men began to look for the girl. They searched along the riverbanks and in the desert and its canyons. And one day, it is said, they found her walking in a canyon with a wolf at her side. When the wolf ran off, the girl hid in an opening in one of the canyon walls. The men tried to capture her. She fought back, biting and scratching like an enraged animal. When they finally subdued her, she began screaming like a frightened young girl and howling like a frightened young wolf. Her captors bound her with rope, put her across a horse, took her to a small ranch house in the desert. They would turn her over to the sheriff the next day. They placed her in an empty room and untied her. Terror-stricken, she hid in the shadows. They left her and locked the door. Soon she was screaming and howling again. The men thought they would go mad listening to her, but at least she stopped. When night fell, wolves began howling in the distance. Real quick before I keep reading, look at this picture.
Dude. You guys might not see this so good, but it's so detailed. By the way, if you want to check out this book,
Real quick.
ScARy 3.
Oh, yeah, you want to see it detailed? That is how detailed it is.
Yeah, she's running on like all fours right there.
Yeah.
By the way, if you want to read this book, go to your nearest library and look up ScARy Stories 3.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
And if you want us to read more scary stories, make sure to hit that like button and maybe subscribe.
Okay. People say that each time they stopped, the girl howled in reply. As the story goes, the cries of the wolves came from every direction and got closer and closer. Suddenly, as if a signal had been given, wolves attacked the horses and other livestock. The men rushed into the darkness, firing their guns. High up in the wall, in the room where they had left the girl, was a small window. A plank was nailed across it. She pulled the plank off, crawled through the window, and disappeared. Years passed with no word of the girl. Then one day some men on horseback came around a bend in the Rio Grande, not far from Devil's River. They claimed they saw a young woman with long blonde hair feeding 2 wolf pups. When she saw the men, she snatched up the pups and ran into the brush. They rode after her, but she quickly left them behind. They searched and searched, but found no trace of her. This is the last we know of the wolf girl, and there it is in the desert near the Rio Grande. That this story ends.
If you guys want to find out if this is true, make sure to Google it, because, we're stumped if this is true or not. Like the Devil River?
The Devil's River? Wait, I don't know.
Probably is a real place.
Yeah.
It is?
You want to read that one?
I'm okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm a little tired.
Do you want to be the filmer, Kelly?
No, I want to...
Okay.
Okay. This is Five Nightmares. We're almost done with the whole book.
Yeah.
Make sure if you guys want us to read more scary stories, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
5 Nightmares. An article painter some pictures. A boy got a new pet. A girl went on vacation. Everything was normal. then nothing was.
Are you okay? Okay. Gonna start off with the dream. Before I read, here's the picture.
That's just horrifying. Like, look at that thing.
Turn on the light right there, and then I'll go over there.
Oh.
Look at that.
Horrifying. Are you good?
I think I'm gonna go over here, you know? That's normal. I totally. I'm just laying on you.
You know how in your story one of the people dropped dead?
Yeah. Oh my god. Okay. The dream. Lucy Morgan was an artist. She had spent weeks painting in a small country town and decided that the next day she would move on. She would go to the village called Kingston. But that night, Lucy Morgan had a strange dream. She dreamed that she was walking up walking up a dark caved staircase in a bedroom. It was an ordinary room except for two things. The carpet was made of large squares that looked like trapdoors, and each of the windows was fast shut with big nails that were stuck out of the wood. In her dream, Lucy Morgan went to sleep in that bed room. During the night, a woman with a pale face and black eyes, long black hair, came into the room. She leaned over the bed and whispered, "This is an evil place. Flee while you can." The woman touched her arm and hurried her along. Lucy Morgan awaked from her dream with a shock. She laid awake the rest of the night, trembling. In the morning, she told her handlady that she had a dream and could not go to Wisconsin after all. Not Wisconsin, Kingston after all. I can't tell you why," she said, "but I can't bring myself to go there." "Why don't you go to Dorset?" the landlady said. "It's a pretty town. It isn't too far." So Lucy Morgan went to Dorset. Someone told her she could find a room in a house at the top of a hill. There was a pleasant room looking like the handlady, and the handlady there. A plump, mother-old woman was nice as could be. "Let's book for the room," she said. "I think you would like it." They walked up in the dark, cave-carved staircase, one of Lucy's dreams. These old houses, the staircase, are all the same, Lucy thought. But then the handlady opened the door to the bedroom. It was like the bedroom in her dream. The same carpet looked like trapdoors, and the same window fastened with big nails. "Is this a coincidence?" Lucy told herself. "How do you like it?" the handlady asked. "I'm not sure," she said. "I'll take your time," the handlady said. "I'll bring you some cup of tea while you think about it." Lucy sat on the bed, staring at the trapdoors and the big nails. As soon as there was a knock at the door, "It's the landlady with tea," she thought. But it wasn't the landlady. It was a woman with a pale face, black eyes, and long hair. Lucy Morgan grabbed her things and fled. And that is the story of the dream. Kevin, you want to go next for Sam's new pet?
Okay.
We should make a part 2 of this.
This is Sam's new pet. Sam stayed with his grandmother when his parents went to Mexico for their vacation. "We were going to bring you back something nice," his mother told him. "It will be a surprise." Before they came home, Sam's parents looked for something Sam would like. All they could find was a beautiful sombrero. It cost too much. But that afternoon, while they were eating their lunch in the park, they decided to buy the sombrero after all. Sam's father threw what was left of their sandwiches to some stray dogs, and they walked back to the marketplace. One of the animals followed them. It was a small gray creature with short hair, short legs, and a long tail.
I thought it was a dog. I'm like,
Wherever they went, it went. Isn't he cute? Sam's mother said. He must be one of those Mexican hairless dogs. Sam would love him. He's probably somebody's pet, Sam's father said. They asked several people if they knew who its owners were, but no one did. They just smiled and shrugged their shoulders. Finally, Sam's mother said, maybe he's just a stray. Let's take him home with us. We can give him a good home, and Sam will love him. It is against the law to take a pet across the border, but Sam's parents hid the animal in a box.
illegal. Hello.
The animal in a box, and no one saw it. When they got home, they showed it to Sam. He's a pretty small dog, said Sam. He's a Mexican dog, his father said. I'm not sure what kind. I think it's called a Mexican hairless. We'll find out. But he's nice, isn't he? They gave the new pet some food. Then they washed it and brushed it and combed its fur. That night it slept on Sam's bed. When Sam awakened the next morning, his pet was still there. Mother, he called, the dog has a cold. The animal's eyes were running, and there was something white around its mouth. Later that morning, Sam's mother took it to a veterinarian. Where did you get him? The vet asked. In Mexico, she said. We think he's a Mexican hairless. I was going to ask you about that. He's not a hairless, the vet said. He's not even a dog. He's a sewer rat, and he has rabies.
What was that? Wait, is there a picture? Okay. Dude, it's a Mexican sewer rat. It has rabies. What the hell? What the heck? What is that? What is that face?
He's not a hairless, the vet said. He's not even a dog. He's a sewer rat. And he has rabies.
Here you go. Your thing unplugged.
All right, you guys, we might do a part 2, but we'll see you later.